I don't know why I did it that way. You're not back. Okay, so now you're back. Okay. Welcome back to day 356. No, yes, no, yes? Sure. Welcome back to day 356. That is 9 days. Ooh, we're getting close. I'm getting close to a week. I'm rounding things out. What the hell did I suggest I do for the end episodes? I don't remember. If I did, I don't know if I'll do it. But, it is much later than I normally do these. Well, actually not much later. It's later than I would have wanted to do it today. But Animal Crossing had an update, and, it dropped when I was going to do, when we were going to separate, and I was going to do this, and then, I played for a while, getting all the upgrades, doing things. I had Gulliver on my island, I got stuff like that, so I did all that. I had to go get shots today, so I got shots in my arm, so now my arm hurts, but I can't really complain too much because my sibling got her second booster shot. She got, because she's a teacher, she can get a booster shot for the COVID vaccine, so she did. She's like, my arm hurts. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, you don't count. I was so mad, I scuffed my glasses, so I scuffed them. I friggin' scraped, a little thing, so now it looks like there's a pretty big smudge on my glasses when I'm looking out of them. So, needed to call to make an appointment for that, right? Well, here's the thing. I went to get my allergy shots, and when I was there, she was talking to me, and somebody else was talking about, why does my shirt feel like that? I was like, oh, right, because I dropped a noodle on it earlier, so it's all nasty. Anyways, so what happened is, I realized after everyone was talking that I'm like, oh, freaking everyone out for Halloween. I wasn't safe, so I'm gonna wait 2 weeks before I go in, because my mom's like, oh, well, it's clean, they wash things off. I'm like, there's still a doctor actively looking at my eyes and touching things and being near me. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks to go, because I want to know that I am 100% healthy, no chance of COVID before I go in, or at least a very, very low chance of COVID. So I thought that would be the best way of doing it. So, what was the thing? Oh yeah, and then, but when I went in, I was sitting there, and there was a chair near the door of the office, the doctor's office, and it's a wooden door, and a kid opens it. I could hear them walking down the hallway. They're a very loud family. I see them every single week. They never wear their mask correctly. They're always off their nose, or the dad's like, hey, take off your mask so you can drink water, and I'm like, or not. So this time the kid opens the door, a little bit, full on kicks the door open. Full on kicks that door open. And I'm just like, my leg was very close to just getting slammed with a giant wooden door. So I'm just like, okay. First kid not wearing a mask at all. Second kid is carrying a mask, not wearing it, in his hands. Third kid comes in not wearing a mask, broken leg. And I'm just like, because when I said, they slammed the door, but my sibling was like, when I told her the story, she's like, well, they should have hurt your leg or broke your leg, so they learn consequences. And I'm just like, boy, he broke his own leg. Freaking one of his brothers has a broken leg. You think they learned, hey, maybe don't be so rough. So anyway, so I don't mind energetic kids even though I had a headache. I don't mind energetic kids. The problem is these kids aren't energetic. These kids are destructive. There is a big difference. So I'm sitting there like, these kids are destructive. It's been 30 seconds. The mom hasn't even made it to the front desk lady. This kid is on a little table that used to have magazines. It's not little, it's like a side table. It's high, so it's like armrest is a little higher, and I had magazines on it. And he has his like this plastic car, right? And he's going like this, and I'm like, okay, a little car moment, right? He pulls it as far, puts it as far back on the table as he can, and just throws it off the table. Not like rolls it at a speed, no, throws it off the table. It hits the other side of the this office area, which was obvious. It was higher up. He would have really had to aim up. But I'm like, there's a TV there. There is the water thing there. There is an actual, like a big plant there. And I'm just like, and so I think he hits the plant and then it falls to the ground. The car falls to the ground. And I'm just like, you're here for 30 seconds, my dude. And they're just like, ha ha ha, look, it landed like up. I'm like, that isn't a cool trick. You just threw your car, dude. So anyways, again, energetic kids I don't mind, but the fact that they're all old enough to be wearing a mask and just not, like, that is, like, on the news, it had the very first batch of children in DC get the COVID vaccine. And so as I'm watching the news about how kids are only now starting to get vaccinated, and it's a really horrible thing that they couldn't get vaccinated because obviously children, you don't want them to be sick with who knows what kind of side effects, you know what I'm saying? So what happens, I'm watching this news and these kids are just not wearing a mask, and I'm just like, they are old enough. I would be like, listen, let's wear your mask. If you're gonna touch your mask, hand sanitize. You know, like, these kids are old enough. These kids are far old enough. Like, even though they're children, they're not young. And I'm just like, oh boy, okay. Even if they're not perfect, okay. And again, these kids are running around and huffing and puffing. And, when they were leaving, they all gathered right around my chair, all facing me, like directly facing me, trying to put on their jackets. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Like, to the point where this kid is actively running into my leg. That is how close they are to me. And I'm just like, oh boy. So I'm trying not to look at them, but they're like right there. So I'm just like, look at a phone, don't judge them, because I didn't want to be rude. Well, I mean, I was judging them, I just didn't want them to know I was judging them. And what happened is, one of the kids, the mom's like, I'm gonna put on your jacket now. And he just straight up puts his car up to like his chest and just drops it to the ground. And he gets the next one and puts it out and drops it to the ground. And I'm just like, I get it. If you want to drop things, if you want to see how it reacts, if kids are just, it's great. I have a headache and you are still so close to me. And so I was like, okay, let it go. And then he tries to pick up things and he's dropping things and whatever. Finally they leave and I'm like, oh boy. But anyways, then the freaking guy, there's a guy at the front desk, right? New guy, don't know when he even walked in, but he's there. I wasn't paying attention. And then this guy is talking to the front desk lady whose birthday it was, or is tomorrow or something, and says, oh, where are you flying out to? Flying? Like, we're not all wearing masks, well, most of us. Like, the rule isn't wear masks, social distance, don't do diddly-do, like, none of that is, like, the whole pandemic isn't occurring to you, my dude. So I'm just like, what? And you can hear the little bit of, oh boy, no, honey, in her voice. So she goes, ha ha ha, no, I'm going to stay at home and have a relaxing weekend, which obviously she has a bunch, like, I think one of her kids has, like, 4 children, so, like, yeah, she's probably having a nice relaxing weekend without any of the kids, grandchildren, and stuff, but just the idea that, like, where are you flying to? I'm not flying anywhere, like, it's a pandemic, like, you know, he doesn't ask me, but I know this lady. Love her. She wipes down all the chairs after there's a group of people, Lysols and stuff. I absolutely adore her. She probably legitimately has saved someone from getting COVID. Like, legitimately. She enforces masks. She went up to people before and like, sir, wear a mask or get out. Oh, there's a group of kids or teenagers that like, they're not all getting their shots. Get out. Like, don't stand in our office. We have a limited amount of people allowed in here. It's only 10 people allowed in here at a time. Get out. So anyways, I absolutely love her, adore her, absolutely love, yes. And I always hype her up. I'm like, yes, go for it. So anyways, so what happened is so she was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. But anyways, when I got my shots, I went up, and this nurse was the same one that made fun of me for wanting to go to arcade. And then I said I went to a fair, and I'm like, I went to this fair, and she's like, oh, my boyfriend's trying to get me to go there, but obviously saying it in a very negative way, and then in the middle of saying it in a negative way, try to change it to being like, trying to keep asking me to go, and I'm like, nice, if you don't want to go, and I get it. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, and what was I saying? Oh, anyways, so she's like, did you dress up for Halloween? Where did you go? Like, did you blah, blah? And that's when it hit me that I'm like, oh my god, everyone went somewhere. Everyone had like opened how many people were in their group, and everything, and we are no different. It was the one time we did go somewhere was for Halloween, was this fair. So I'm just like, ah, shit. Because I'm like, great, that's why I'm gonna wait 2 weeks before doing anything else. But even though my glasses are scratched, because I don't want to just buy new glasses, I want my eyes checked, because the first year I had glasses, it didn't change, then I didn't do my eye exam again, COVID, blah blah, and then, so now I definitely need my eyes checked, because usually when you first get glasses, your prescription gets worse, I guess. Like, your eyesight gets worse because they get used to not having to strain so much. So, I never had that dip down the first year because I didn't really wear my glasses very often, around. And then I did a lot, so, because I went out places, I did stuff, blah, blah. So I went that, next appointment to check it out, but, I realized that I'm like, I don't know where the doctor's been, who he's seen, but then I'm like, okay, yeah, if I give it 2 weeks, hopefully that's enough time that I feel safe that I don't have it. I know I would most likely be safe if I go in. My biggest fear is I have it and I give it to someone when I go there, like the doctor. Hopefully the doctor would know if he has it. I assume it's like I think the one that I was suggested before was the guy. So I want to do that, but maybe in 2 weeks. But my glasses are all scuffed and it's annoying. I also want new glasses, I think. Yeah, I don't know what kind of glasses. I know you try on glasses, which is also a really big thing, that I don't want to put stranger glasses on my eyes. So we'll have to see what I can do, because I don't know different shapes enough of glasses on my eyes to know what I want, you know. One thing I really want is to get some sunglasses with my prescription, so I can drive with the sun in my eyes, or I can go somewhere and still see. I know some people double glasses, but that is annoying for me, and I do not do that. I rather never do that. Ever. I hate it. Yeah, that's one thing that I never got, is why 3D glasses aren't made for people with glasses, because if they just make the frames all bigger, just enough that you can put a lot or all glasses underneath, it's like, well, you're like, well, isn't that hard? It's like, well, all safety goggle glasses, well, unless they're like really flat glasses, all like the goggle glasses are made to be put over glasses. Like that's what they were made for. So it's like, anyways, that was such a weird thing. I had somebody growing up that couldn't go to 3D movies because they had depth perception issues. So I thought he wasn't allowed to drive, but maybe he is now, or maybe, I don't know, because I thought he wasn't allowed to do something in particular, legally, because he can't have depth perception, but I think he drives. At least he was working on a car before, pretty sure. Because it was that house, and it was a guy working on a car so loud that even though he was a house over, the music shook my bedroom, and I could hear the of the music, and I'm just like, it is 3-4 in the morning, and you've been working for hours. Like, nah, honey. No. Anyways, also very funny that our dog barks, because the rule is like over 10 minutes or whatever of barking. Obviously, we don't let our dogs bark for 10 minutes. That hypes them up way too much. Like, if a dog is barking for 10 minutes straight, it's like something is going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we don't even get close to that. But we also have a rule, nothing. I used to be after dark, but we changed it to being like bedtime, whatever. And so what happened is we would have it middle of the day bark for like 2 seconds, like someone did something. Like sometimes even they're just like, oh my, it's not like barking, like it's like, oh my god, you're in the front yard. Like earlier my sister walked into the front yard, and I guess they didn't see her walk outside, and they're like, whoa, and then they ran inside to be like, well, where did you go? And she's like, the front yard. Anyways, so and then they're like, we're calling the cops on you. And I'm just like, okay. But people play music till 4 or 5 in the morning. Multiple times, by the way. Multiple neighbors, multiple times till 5:30 in the morning. Such loud music, like word for word, you can't hear what they're saying. This music is. And it does not. Sorry, what was this video that is suggested to me at the end of this? No cops are called. And I'm just like, weird that I look a little, yeah, it was one of the songs okay. Sorry, I thought it was, showing a video, and it's not, anyway, so, it's interesting who decides to get the cops called on them. Like, certain people want to be, I guess, fancy, because we don't have a homeowners association around here. What happened is that one time we had our work van in our yard, like in our driveway, and they called the cops on it. And I'm just like, why? And they're like, it was just like, it's an eyesore. And I'm like, it's a work van. Chill. It was there for 2 days. And guess what? People are allowed to have work vans that are clearly work vans. It was a whole mess. I never got over that. Yeah, other people in the neighborhood probably have it really bad off too, because I think there's a gay couple that moved in, but I don't even know if they're still here, man. Like, oof.